Welcome to New Age DFS UCL preview for tomorrow's 2-game slate. We got a real tough one coming up here. Me and Charlie are going to discuss this one. So let's go right into the formations here.
Yeah,
First,
second legs. We've already seen them play a couple or once.
Yeah, and this game was very one-sided for a while, but it was 1-1 in the first leg somehow. Bayern had like 5 million chances, couldn't score very much. We were on a lot of Mr. Kingsley Coman. We were touting him in the Discord, and he was the only guy who did anything besides Kimmich there. But for some reason, it doesn't look like he's going to play tomorrow, or start at least. So obviously, if this is the lineup, Kimmich will have monopoly.
And Lewandowski, will he get more than 27?
Yeah, will he score? He hasn't been scoring.
Yeah.
And then for Salzburg, if this team, probably Seawald and Ulmer splitting. I don't know how much Salzburg are going to want to target tomorrow, but
I think it's Köln or nothing, or Adeyemi or something for an upset goal.
Yeah. And now for Liverpool-Inter. This is going to be tough. It's really tough when you get games like this. But Liverpool are still minus 175 favorites. They're up 2-0. Setzer, Robertson, and Trent, obviously, but you have to play a bit of game theory here. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think Alisson's going to see a lot of shots? Do you even bother playing the fullbacks? Do you just stack Inter with Alisson or something? So it's going to be tough. And then for Inter, sets here would be Çalhanoğlu. They have Perisic in projected. I don't think he's going to play. I'm assuming it's going to be either Gozens or Darmian or DeMarco. But I'm assuming it's going to be Gozens. So let's get into the pricing. I mean, the decision of the slate, Lewandowski, he burned me, he burned you. We had everything else right. If I recall that slate, we had everything else right, but just Lewandowski. So what is your approach?
I mean, he's cheaper than last game, and now he's even in somehow more of a smash spot than last game. Like, 10-7 at home. Like, I think that it's finally got to happen for him. Like, I think Bayern scored at least like 4 here. Like, I can't believe that Salzburg is somehow hold on again with the keeper standing on their head.
He's been cold in the league too. We don't see this from Lewandowski. He's been really cold in the league, but we know what he can do. Like, I mean, the stats speak for themselves. He could drop 51 and you're absolutely burned if you don't play him. And he's going to probably be the highest owned guy still, even with him being kind of awful recently.
Yeah, FIFA are still just going to go just plug and play.
Because people are so scared because we don't know what's going to happen to Inter Liverpool. Liverpool could just win 3-0 again, or they could just sit back and get peppered. So we talked about Coman. He's not going to play, it seems like. If he does, I like him a lot. If he doesn't, then
he's probably the only attacker with a floor on their whole team.
Yeah, he's the safest, I would say. Next is Mo Salah. I mean, he's still on fire. He's still Mo Salah, and he hasn't had a bad game in the Champions League yet. And you're going to get him at a way less ownership than Lewandowski. Like, I'm still going to go with Salah. He's not going to – I mean, he still has a floor, really, a shot floor.
Yeah, all of Liverpool's guys do.
Do you like him?
I know. It's really hard. Like, it's him or another Bayern guy. And I think I kind of lean just stacking Bayern over him. But it's a tough decision.
Next, we got Sane. We liked Sane at the beginning of the Champions League. He was really good. And then they've just been messing around where he's been playing, and he's been bad for DFS.
He hasn't been playing that much even in the league. I think he's been injured or something.
He's been like very mediocre too, and that's why probably Bayern have been struggling. But he was mega chalk last time, and he absolutely busted. I didn't really like him. We were all over Coman, over him, got him at way less ownership. Now you get the price discount on Sane, on somebody like Lewandowski. He's a tough decision because he's a guy who can just turn it on and boom, he's at 25. So he's another tough guy. Muller, GPP or bust, I think.
I think I like him more than Sane personally. Like He had an
Uh,
own goal in the weekend, I know, but he's still one of their better attacking options. I think he's like their all-time. They got a ton of like some sort of assist record recently that I saw he broke.
so you like him a lot?
Yeah, I do, especially for as cheap as he is. He's like the cheapest of the attackers that you know are going to play for them.
So we saw projected Jota's not in. I wouldn't be completely surprised if Jota were to start this, but he's a GPP. Mane, GPP are kind of, I mean, he's been kind of good too, kind of been
They're all
at
cheap
forward.
enough that you can convince me to go one of them.
And, they most of the time
Any of
they're
those
going to
three
get there.
guys.
Like
Yeah.
Mane and Diaz have been really good, and they just always get there no matter the matchup. So,
If you're playing them, you're basically betting that Bayern only score like one or two,
yeah.
and then suddenly they're very live.
Next guy who's going to play Dzeko. I think the Inter guys pretty much decide the slate that you run with like the Bayern guys. Dzeko has been really good in the league in terms of having a floor. You don't see it here, but he's been shooting a lot of key passes. 6,400. I'll play him in GPP, probably with like Lotaro or something. I don't think I want to play him as just a one-off because you're hoping to Inter smash if you're playing him.
Yeah, I'd say you're probably pairing one of them with Chalanolu.
Yeah. Next guy who's going to start Lotaro, 5K. I mean, that's
Really
really
cheap.
cheap. You used to see Lotaro on these inter leagues or Serie A slates. He's 12K, he's 10K, 5K.
I
Just had
mean,
a
he's also
massive game.
playing Salernitana in those interleague
I know,
slates, not
but
Liverpool.
now he had a massive game. He was cold. He was cold for a while. He gets the hat trick. He's coming on with good momentum here. I'm gonna have a lot of Lotaro tomorrow for sure because 5K is too cheap for a guy of his upside. Next, we got Adeyemi. I think you're hoping he just scores on the counter because that's the only way Salzburger's scoring.
Yeah,
Bayern dominate, and boom, Adeyemi scores on the counter. One shot, one goal.
I'll probably have him like in 2 out of 20. One in a Salzburg upset build, and one they just happen to score. But like, he's not my favorite play on the day.
Yeah, Okafor. I believe Okafor got injured in really early, and then uh,
Adamu.
yeah, Damu came on and scored right away. But I don't want to play. I really don't want to play any attackers on Salzburg. You're hoping for the perfect game flow. So next we got mid. You got to make a couple decisions. We talked about all these guys who are forward eligible, but now you got cheap, really cheap Serge Gnabry. He's been kind of struggling, but we know Gnabry is a guy who shoots a lot, crosses a lot, key passes. I
He's a
like
good
him.
player. Good
I
play,
like
I
him.
think.
Yeah.
I think not as good as Kimmich though at 77. I think I'd rather
Yeah.
put Kimmich over him.
In cash, you're locking Kimmich. GPP, you're still probably having a lot of Kimmich. You don't want to
Yeah, I
fade him.
think
He's scary.
that's when I think you fade him in the builds that you're expecting Bayern to win by like 5. You just cram all of the high upside attackers, and Kimmich would probably not be worth it in that scenario unless he scores himself or has a couple of assists.
Yeah, we're seeing that a lot lately, where you see like the CDM set, like the Ward Prowse kind of set takers. Like his team can win by 4, but he did nothing because they all scored in open play. So in that case, you want to go like Lewandowski, Sane, Gnabry, Muller, and just
Yeah,
don't play Kimmich. So next we got Musiala. I don't really like him. 6,900 as a CDM. I'd like him if he was somehow on the wing or something, but I don't think I can pay 6,900 for him at CDM.
he's an interesting pivot for GPP. I'd say nothing more. He'll be
Yeah,
low owned.
he'll be low. Next, we got Chalanoglu. I know you don't like him. I don't mind him here. He is
I
kind
just
of
think
set reliant, but
Liverpool away is not the game where you want someone like that, considering there's Bayern on the other game.
they got to chase. I mean, he could
They do
outscore
gotta
Kimmich.
chase, but that imply that Liverpool's gonna sit, and they're just not gonna do that. Liverpool's still gonna attack, even though they're up 2 goals.
Next, Perisic. I don't think he's going to play. He's questionable. We'll see. It says he's good to go. We'll see if that means he's going to start or not, if he just didn't play at all or wasn't even on the bench last league game. So we'll see. Keep going here. Dumfries is interesting. He can always break a slate. We saw it in the Euros. I mean, he's been all right. 4,300. for an Inter wingback. GPP though.
Yeah.
Vidal and Aronson, two GPP guys that, Aronson got the job done. Like, I'm pretty sure he was in the optimal lineup last.
Yeah, he was.
So, like, you're hoping for him to score early or something and stack him back with a bunch of Bayern.
Yep.
Vidal is goal or bust mostly, but I mean, we were on him before we even started this. We loved Vidal in these early games. He was like 3K. 4K is not that much, but it's a tough matchup.
Yeah.
Fabinho, I hate Fabinho. Couple interesting guys. I mean, Brozovic. Brozovic is another always get their midfielder. Yeah, your kind of guy. You're playing a lot of Brozovic.
I'm gonna need a third team in most of my builds with Liverpool and Bayern kind of my main targets, so I probably will land on him quite a bit just to make the numbers work.
So you're not going to be playing any Seawald. Share sets at 3K.
He's the other guy that I'll be going. One of him, Brozovic, will be making up my builds as the third team unless I go punt goalkeeper.
Seawald's 3K. He's not going to kill you, but how many sets realistically are they going to get?
Yeah, exactly.
Defender. Man, you'd see these prices normally and you just plug these two in and call it a day. But Trent and Robbo, they both came off of pretty big games. Which one are you leaning? Are you even going to play any of them?
Robbo. If I'm playing one, I'm going Robbo. But like I said before, I'm going to prioritize the Bayern attackers, and if they fit in the build around that, then I'll play them. If they don't, I'm still willing to fade them if they don't work in my build. But in cash, I think you probably just play both and call it a day.
You probably play one. I don't know if I'll play both. I definitely won't play both, actually. Saying that, I definitely won't play both.
I just, like, the other defense is just so bad.
Let's take a look. We got
Gosens,
Pavard. Pavard's interesting. I mean, if he's actually at right back, you have to check the formation. If he's actually at right back, he can be somewhat interesting.
He's still goal contribution line, even at right back. He hasn't crossed, really.
Well, maybe they're losing early and they have no choice.
I mean, they were losing early last game. He had 6.
He was at center back.
Kinda. I mean, their formation's kind of loose.
Actually, Gosens is supposed to play. He's really just GPP. I know he's cheap, but he doesn't do anything unless he gets a goal contribution.
Yes, he's exactly like those other guys.
Lucas Hernandez, no. Shula, you want to pair him with Kimmich. Van
Dijk
Dijk
for a CB goal from a set piece.
Yeah, Van Dijk, same thing.
Same with, you're playing with Rob or Trent.
Yeah.
And Allison, most likely.
If you're looking for like a floor, like center back, I know we don't usually like targeting center backs for floor, but man, these logs don't do him justice of what he does.
Yes.
Like seriously, if you're looking for a cheap defender, would you rather play Bastoni at 3K or Ulmer at 2,800?
Oof, I think Ulmer, honestly.
Wow.
Like I see the sentiment of Bastoni, but
no.
I mean, 2,800 for a set-taking fullback is good, even if they're not going to have a ton of sets. You still going to have his open play value at the minimum.
I'm leading Bastonia. He can get there. Skriniar can also get there. Inter just tough. If this is a guy who, if he starts Darmian, if he starts, I think you just plug him. You just plug him in at 2,800. He'd be on his weaker left foot, but he can still get there for you. Rest of these guys, GPP or bust. And goalie has just been deciding these Champions League slates one way or another. I've struggled to get them right personally. What are you doing here?
I mean, the two ones for me are either Allison or Cole, depending on how each game you think will go. If you don't think Bayern pump like 10, then you go Cole. If you think they, as I do, score like 4 or 5, you just go Allison, I think. I'm not really the biggest fan of Ulrich, so I don't think I'll go him. Allison's got more upside, for sure.
Allison got the most upside, probably the safest. We talked last time, don't play Ulrich. Gave up
He
a
made
goal
saves, to be fair. Like, no
he
one was
gave up a goal
expecting.
10 minutes in.
He
Don't
still had
play.
6,
I
which is impressive.
I played Handanovic. Everyone played Handanovic. We saw how that went. I think my favorites are also Cohen and Allison and Cohen. But if you're playing Cohen, you could get a whatever you got last game of 14 or something. Yeah, 14, or you could get -6 in your
Yeah,
toast. So
exactly.
that's the thing with him. But you are paying for a much bigger discount and hoping that he makes 8 saves.
Yeah, I think your goal is like a 6 points from him there, and you'd be happy. But if Allison drops an 18, like you obviously want to prioritize Allison.
Yeah.
So it's just tough.
All right, so we got the slates covered on the Discord. Huge golf tournament this week. We'll have a preview up for that. Showdown core for golf has been crushing. We got showdowns for these 2 games tomorrow, classic tomorrow for soccer. So join our
Get
Patreon.
involved in our Patreon to get that stuff.
$20 a month for everything. We got NHL going on. So make sure you guys join us. Follow us on Twitter. Good comments only. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.